Alright, so I'm back from my vacation, and guess what? I actually saw Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and I liked it. So, I decided I'm going to open up these figures. As much as it annoys me that they were all steeply discounted and I bought these all at full price, I'm still going to open them up anyway. Now, if you're unfamiliar, these figures are based off of Marvel's newest standalone movie in their cinematic universe. It's the origin story of Shang-Chi and him dealing with his relationship as his father, his sister, and the criminal organization known as the Ten Rings. Personally, I thought the movie was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's not Marvel's best movie, but it's certainly one of their better origin standalone movies. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of this character and the rest of them in more of the cinematic universe. And I'm looking forward to actually opening up these figures and putting together this not related to the movie Mr. Hyde character. So let's go ahead and crack them open, see what we got. I actually ended up liking this wave more than I thought I would, even with the 2 throwaway figures they included. Seems like they threw in Captain America and Iron Man just because they didn't have too much faith that this wave would sell, and it ended up not selling very well and getting pretty heavily clearanced out. So just to get them out of the way, let's talk about this Tony Stark AI and Civil Warrior figure. The Tony Stark figure is okay, nothing really to write home about. It's kind of nice that you get a pretty easy way to get his classic armor. I'm glad that they included an alternate helmet head. He's got his typical repulsor beams, alternate hands. So they did do pretty decently with him. If you're a fan of his classic comic look, then it's a fairly cheap way to get him if you can score him someplace clearanced. As for Civil Warrior, I just don't really have any connection to this character. It's kind of a neat design, crossover between Iron Man and Captain America. Looks pretty cool, but I just don't have any feeling towards it. I've never played the game it's based on, so it's just like, it was the way to get Mr. Hyde's head, and that's all it comes down to. Right now, I don't know if I'll end up keeping him. I may just end up selling him and the Tony Stark. Kind of 50-50 right now. Now, as for the movie characters, they are some really great sculpts. But we'll start with the one that's technically not really a part of this wave, because Marvel's Katy was a Target exclusive. She didn't come with any of the Mr. Hyde Build-A-Figure parts. She was also a character that got pretty heavily discounted because nobody knew if they were going to like her or not. I ended up really enjoying the character in the movie. I liked Awkwafina more than I thought I would, and the figure herself is pretty decent. My one complaint is the hair gets in the way of the quiver. It's kind of difficult to pose her with it, and her dress skirt doesn't really give her much leg posability either. But the sculpt is really good, even if the packaging art on the figure itself doesn't look a thing like Awkwafina. Not at all. The Morris pack-in is pretty nice. He's just a pretty solid piece of plastic, but he's a good sizable chunk, pretty good to scale, some good coloring underneath the wings, so it's nice to have. Would have been cool to have articulated legs or something, but I was glad to get them. Moving on to the figures that are actually a part of the wave, let's just get Death Dealer out of the way. Even though it's a pretty nice figure, some very bright colors, excellent paint work, the character itself left a lot to be desired in the end, and he went out like a total chump. Like almost all the figures in this wave, he's got a lot of good articulation. Skirt gets in the way a little bit, but since it's only a half, it's a little bit easier to give some good poses with him. He also comes with 2 alternate hands, one with a dagger ready to throw, a couple of them being launched, and then just a couple of, fighting type hands. And man, do these figures come with a lot of hands. It's borderline ridiculous. It's going to be just a pain to keep track of whose hands goes to what. It's laughable. Next up, we have Xialing, which is Shang-Chi's sister. My really only one complaint with this figure is her accessory kind of sucks. The dart rope, I'm not really sure if that's what it's called. She's just kind of stuck posing with it. She's got no options to actually look like she's using it, so she's just got to be holding it. However, she does come with a bunch of hands, so you're able to do a lot of different kung fu poses with her, so that's pretty nice. And the sculpt on her is, again, very excellent. Almost everybody looks great. Moving on to the actual Mandarin, who wasn't really the Mandarin, we have Wenwu. Also a great looking sculpt, looks just like the actor. My complaint with this is I don't remember really seeing him use the hook sword, and it would have been great to have alternate arms without the rings, and maybe the rings in like a whipping pose, because that's mainly how he uses them to attack in the movie. And even some kind of like blast effects with them too would have been nice to have. Otherwise, he's just kind of stuck having them on him. But otherwise, it's not a terrible figure. It's got some great paint jobs. Like I said, the sculpt is excellent, and it's a good, solid version of the character. I'm very happy with how this one turned out. And then the man of the hour is Shang-Chi himself. He's got a ton of articulation. He also comes with some extra hands to do a bunch of kung fu poses. He's got the staff he uses at the end of the movie. My one issue with the figure is the sculpt's not 100% that great. It's fairly close, but I think they made his eyes just a little too wide. It just doesn't look quite like our actor. But again, it's not terrible. It's close enough that I don't hate it, and it's still recognizable as him. So, all in all, not terrible. Now we have our Build-A-Figure Mr. Hyde, a character I didn't even know appeared in the Marvel Comics. However, this is an exceptionally great figure. I think it's one of their best Build-A-Figures to date. He's got a lot of great little detail. The face sculpt looks excellent. He's got loads of articulation. He can move all over the place. He's just massive. He's got great bulk, great size. And honestly, I like him. He makes even getting these two figures that I don't even care about really worth it, because he's just exceptional. If you were lucky enough to score all these guys on clearance and are able to build this guy, then great, because he is honestly fantastic. Like I said, one of the best Build-A-Figures Hasbro's done to date, and I don't even know anything about this character, other than, you know, from the book. So there you have it, the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings figures. Sadly, not in stores anymore, but you'll more than likely find them online at full price. And honestly, now that I have them open and I'm looking at it, I'm not too upset that I paid full price to them, because they are pretty great figures and a great Build-A-Figure from a pretty good movie. So Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is still playing in theaters if you haven't had a chance to get to it yet. It's pretty good. I really liked it. And if you're a fan of the Marvel movies, you'll probably like it too. That's it for this action figure video. Sorry for the wait. Like I said, I was on vacation, went to a wedding, and I've had a lot of work to do. But back, gonna try and get a few more videos. Speaking of, my next build video is one that I've been sitting on for a while. I actually bought this set almost a year ago during Black Friday when it was on sale. It is the Pirates of Barracuda Bay set. This thing is massive. It's a love letter to the old classic pirate Lego sets. So I've been looking forward to building this for a very long time. I can't wait to crack it open. It's going to be a lengthy build. It's going to be a long video, and I can't wait to get into it. So make sure you tune in for that. Also, probably after that, I'm getting pretty close. I'm only 12 subscribers away from 200. So that means I will be doing a live unboxing video with kind of a mix of some various brands and some figures I've been sitting on for a while. So I'm excited for that. Hopefully we can get to that sooner rather than later. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And make sure to leave a comment below if you picked up these figures and what you thought about them. I'd love to talk about it. So until then, stay tuned, stay safe, and happy hunting.